What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Monday, July 21st, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. Her name is Haley Shanley, and she is a pro motorsport reporter that's going to be rocking on with us here on the live. About to bring her on in just a moment, and we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into the sports journalism industry. We're also going to ask her some get to know you questions. So yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. This is my second live that I've done, for sure. So I'm very happy that we're going to be having her on, and definitely looking forward to it. That's for sure. Give me one moment. Oh, what's up, Courtney? What's good, baby? How we doing? What's up, my man, Addy? What's going on, baby? Waving to both of y'all. As we are here on live, like I said, right now, this is the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Just trying to wait for Haley to come on and rock with me. She is a pro motorsport reporter based out of Indianapolis. So yeah, definitely going to be looking for her to come on here and do the damn thing. It's gonna be. Oh, thank you. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of good guests. Man. No question about that. Just blessed, man. Blessed that they saying yes. Blessed to be able to do this again. There was a point in time where it was tough. I didn't know when I was gonna be doing this again. So absolutely. My boy BD. What's up, BD? What's going on, baby? He just joined. Let me see what's good. What's going on. Let's see what we can do to get her on. Bam. All right, so like I said, right now we are just waiting on my guest to join me here on the live. Her name again is Haley Shanley. She is a pro motorsports reporter. So she has been working with Long Haul Productions. She has been a commentator. She's been a host in the sports game. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, what's going on, BD? I'm thinking he tried to say what up, but he say CS. I don't know what that is, but okay. We gonna rock with it. That's my boy, no doubt. So yeah, we just gonna patiently wait, see when she gets on here. And yeah, we're gonna rock out. Hold on. Let's see. Joined. All right, so here we go. Put it this way. See if she could join us. And let's accept. Yep. All right. She rocking on. Oh, hold up. Rocking on with us now. Here we go. Like I said, I got Haley coming on with me again. Those of you that are just coming on to the live, it's the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is a podcast that I like to bring guests on here to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I am a sports journalist, freelance, somebody who has been doing journalism for the past, I would say, 7 years. I started in Atlanta, Georgia, and now I'm here in Minnesota as well, doing my thing. So, yes, absolutely. Let me see. Accept. Wants to be in the video. Yep. Let me see what's going on. I'm trying to accept, but it's not allowing me to do that. There we go. About time. All right. Hey, what's going on, Haley? How we doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I want to say first off, thank you for allocating your time to me and coming on to my podcast and coming on to this IG Live. Work hard, play harder. You look absolutely lovely today. I just want to start off by saying that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to talk more about the broadcast world with you. It's great to meet a fellow reporter and podcast
Hmm.
host, so I appreciate your
Hmm.
time.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I just want you to take a real quick look at my sweatshirt because I had to wear it. It says Minnesota.
Yes.
And the reason why is because doing some background research on you, you are a Minnesota native. And that's exactly where I'm at right now, which is in Minnesota. So,
Oh.
um, yeah. I'm actually, and check this out, with the background research that I've been doing on you.
Hmm.
I'm in Marshall, Minnesota, which is 45 minutes away from the school that you attended, which is South Dakota State University.
Yes, it is. Very close. That
Mhm.
is, yes, those were some great years I spent out there. Very familiar with that neck of the woods.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we will definitely get into that on this podcast here and on this IG live. I want to reiterate to you why I wanted to have you on here, and that's one because you are, like you said, a sports reporter, motorsport sports reporter, and I'm a sports reporter as well. I like talking to people who are in the same realm as me because everybody's story is unique and different. There's nobody's story that's ever the same. And to me, your story is just as special as anyone else's, right? We're so used to interviewing people and going to get the stories from the sources that we don't get a chance to sit down and talk ourselves about
Mhm.
ourselves. So I think this is just a unique opportunity that I like to present people to be able to talk about themselves and open up a little bit, and get a little behind the scenes about what's going on. So again, it is a pleasure, Haley, to have you on here. And with that being said, I'm gonna get to the very first question, which is the same question I ask everybody on here, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models or any inspirations growing up? But ultimately, what led you into a career of sports journalism?
What led me into a career of sports journalism is being a fan. You know, one thing we like to say at Pro Motocross and Supercross is we're fans first, and that's so true. And that was true for me even before I started with them. And that's my purpose, my why. Because as a fan of sports, and not just motorsports, like I'd grown up playing lacrosse and tennis, and a huge hockey fan still today. I follow the league, and it's for me it was that natural curiosity of like I want to follow this sport. I also like selfishly I want to know what's going on behind the scenes. I want to be so close to the subject. I want to be up by the rink. I want to be talking to the athletes and get the story because I personally am curious, and that just like tickles all the best parts of my brain to just know a little bit more than the average fan may know from just watching the game or the race
Mhm.
itself. And that's, being able to tell those stories is truly such it's something I'm so grateful to be able to do. So that's my why is being a fan. Some of my role models growing up were, of course, being a big motocross supercross fan. I was looking up
Mhm.
to Erin Bates and Jamie Little and
Okay.
Jenny Taft. They were some of the
Yep.
women who were doing it in years past. And Will Christian, who will I get a chance to work with her today, and she is just a rock star. So those are some of the women I looked up to, and also it took me a few years to start looking at people in the industry who didn't look like me. And what I mean by that is like I just naturally gravitated at first to studying women and what women were
Right.
doing, and typically in reporting roles. But something switched, and I'm like, well, why can't I be looking at male reporters or male play-by-play or analysts up in the booth?
Mhm.
So that's when I
Mhm.
started watching a few guys who I've now had the honor to work with, like Jason Wygant, Jason Thomas in recent years, and Daniel Blair, who I used to work with on Race Day Live for Supercross, and just watching their craft and how they go about telling the story, asking the right questions to get the story, is something that I don't say modeled my work after, because we
Mhm.
all want to create our own brand, if you will, our own flavor on camera. But I definitely learned a lot from watching them over the years.
Absolutely. And that's a great why and a great start to this conversation. I love that. I really do. And Jamie Little has been a guest on here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast as well. No doubt about it. Definitely know who Jamie is. There's Amanda Busick, who I would love to talk to. She's also somebody who's a NASCAR correspondent as well. Shannon Spate used to be
Mhm.
one as well. I'd love to talk to her at some point. But there was a point in time where that it was very foreign to have women talk about NASCAR. It was just a very foreign thing to do. Talk about the evolution of that and just how it's like it betters the sport and how better it is to have, that mix of not only wonderful, talented men talking about it, but also ladies talking about it as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very fortunate to have been grown up and watching women before me in those roles, because in years prior to my upbringing, or years prior to when I first started to really watch sports on another level, where I started to see maybe a career in this,
Mhm.
there were women before me who I could model myself after and take notes of. But yeah, to think before then, it was there was a very stereotypical looking person who was in that role. And
Right.
and there were some very talented individuals, not to take anything away from anyone who has ever done it,
Sure.
in any male or anything in years past. But it's been really cool to see more and more women get opportunities in the space, to not only get opportunities, but to see women go after it because they see that, oh yeah, it can be done.
Right.
There is a space for women in this space, in the broadcast world and media world, journalism. um, but even one thing that's it's extra special to me too is not just any role, but you typically see on a broadcast team, a lot of the times it's going to be women in reporting roles. Well, we're starting to see more and more women in play-by-play and
Yep.
analysis roles in the booth, which is so cool to me. And I actually had the opportunity to do that. And I remember this because it was the same year Jamie Little got to go be in the booth for correct me if I'm wrong here, but I want to say it was ARCA. And I just thought,
Hmm.
wow, that is amazing. Like, I cannot wait to watch her this season. It just so happened 2 or 3 months went by, and I actually got the opportunity to go from a reporting role in snowcross.
Yeah.
Our uh, analyst at the time, he had fallen ill, and it was time for him to go off the road. Traveling was going to be too much with his condition. So
Okay.
my boss and then one of our producers gave me a call, and they're like, Haley, what do you think about stepping into the booth for this event, and maybe the rest of the season? And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I never even pictured that for myself.
Right.
That's a big challenge because I don't have the seat time. I don't have the reps. It's not something I ever studied nor ever pictured myself doing. And my work was a hit. They decided to keep me there for the rest of the season and for the years after that, until I had to leave the position to pursue Supercross. But so that was just like, wow. I think that was maybe most meaningful to me out of some of the positions that I've worked, is because
Mhm.
before me with Snowcross, there hadn't been a woman in the booth for the TV position. Yes, we've
Wow.
had women in the booth for like we call it like amateur racing or youth racing during the day, but the
Sure.
nighttime program, which is our TV package, it was CBS at the time and now Fox Sports, that had not been done. So to me, that was just the coolest part, to have been trusted with it and to have my work been well received. So just to see women not only get more opportunities in the space, but to see more diverse opportunities in the space, in a varying roles, and whether that's on air or in the production truck, women who are producing, directing, calling the shots, that's really cool.
Absolutely. And anybody that knows you and has a chance to see your work, they can tell how passionate you are, how wonderful you are, how talented you are in doing this work. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. I mean, I've got a chance to see some videos of you doing my background research. And like I said, you are very, very talented at doing this. And it's cool because, I mean, it's NASCAR is something that I know of in Supercross as far as racing goes, but I want to be enlightened more because I'm that's probably one of the least amount of sports that I know of. Probably that and soccer are the two least, and I would love to just be educated on it. To the person that, what would you say to a person that really is intrigued by your sport? What would you say to get viewers to watch Supercross?
I would say you need to come out. You need to experience any motorsport. To me, it's the
Hmm.
sensory experience. It's the smell
Okay.
of the race fuel, maybe the
Hmm.
feeling of dirt and dust in the hair getting on your skin and in your hair. The
Hmm.
feeling of, with it for NASCAR, IndyCar, for example, road racing, the feeling of the the wind, if you will, as the cars go by, the audio visual experience of it all. It's
Okay.
You need to experience it in person. But even if you don't get to do that right away, it's the storylines in, I will say, supercross and motocross. And you may hear me use the word pro motocross, which is outdoor off-road motorcycle racing, supercross, which is in a stadium, and
Okay.
super motocross is like the league. Consider it like the NFL, is to football as super motocross is to dirt bike racing. So,
Got you. Okay.
why fans should come out to super motocross is it's truly like a show. There's the pyro, there's the flames. As far as the racing is concerned, there are
Hmm.
so many just vibrant personalities. There's a lot of drama involved with the sport. It really is compelling, and we get a race all around the country. So no matter where you go, East Coast to West Coast, North to South. There's events going on, 31 of them throughout the year. So it's really interactive. You can get out to events. The
Hmm.
stories are incredible. And who doesn't love high speed and high flying action that is off road motorcycles?
No, no question. I definitely would love to go to an event. I am based here in Minnesota right now, but I will be relocating to upstate New York. Do you have any events out there? Normally, do you guys
Yes.
come out there? Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we don't have any in upstate New York, but we do go to East Rutherford, New Jersey, so just outside of New York City. We also,
Okay.
and mind you, the 2026 schedule isn't out yet, but some of the venues that we typically go to every year or every other
Sure.
year,
Sure.
we have a big swing in the East. We'll go to Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. I mentioned East Rutherford, New Jersey, and oh my
Hmm.
gosh, I'm blanking on the stadium, New England Patriots.
Oh, Gillette
Gillette
Stadium.
Stadium. Yes,
Hmm.
yeah, that's one
Yep.
of my personal favorites. So we get to
Okay.
have a big swing out east, which is so great for those East Coast fans.
Okay, so we would definitely keep in touch because I definitely would love to come out and see a live event.
Yes.
And yes, absolutely. We'll definitely do that. Now, we talked about it a little bit, or I mentioned it earlier. You went to South Dakota State University, so you are a Jackrabbit alum.
Yes.
Absolutely. Tell me, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to SDSU?
Yeah, so when I graduated high school, I knew I wanted to go to South Dakota State. That's where my grandma went to school. She was the first in my family to go to college degree, first woman in my family to get a college degree, which in my
Wow.
immediate family, I should say, which was so special to me. And my dad was from out there, and just having family out there, it made sense. I knew I wanted to go there. Well, I go out there my freshman year. I was the first kid in my family to go to school, so we didn't know how like financially any of it really worked.
Right.
So get out there, I panicked a little bit. I'm like, oh my gosh, school is really expensive. It keeps adding up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to Minnesota for a few years and just knock out some of these generals. So I went to St. Cloud State then for 4 semesters. So after that, I decided I'm like, I hate this place. I'll be very honest, did not like St. Cloud. I was playing lacrosse there, which was I think the most redeeming part of it. But as far as my schooling program was, it wasn't a good fit for me. So I transferred back to South Dakota State for my junior and senior year, and I'm so glad that I did. My GPA went up. I was just having a great time. I was enjoying my studies and my professors. So that's where I graduated from. And that was there were a few other colleges that I had looked at, like Northern State in Aberdeen, South Dakota. I
Yep.
had looked at a few colleges down south where I could have maybe gotten some sponsorship money to play, or not sponsorship. Um, as you can tell,
Scholarship.
yeah, scholarship. Of course, I'm
Right.
thinking in like
Right.
motorsports terms. So I could have
Hmm.
gotten some scholarship to play lacrosse, but it wasn't going to be the right career or degree path for me. So South Dakota was just a really good fit.
Absolutely. Brookings is definitely the definition of a college town.
Yep.
I mean, no question about it. I definitely went to a Jackrabbits game last year with some friends. That was amazing. Quite the experience. Football
Good.
team is really good
Mhm.
normally all the time. And I definitely know about St. Cloud, St. Cloud State University as well, for sure.
Mhm.
That really shocked me when I was doing my background research. I'm like, Haley's a Minnesota native. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, you're still in the Midwest. You're in Indianapolis?
Yep, I've kind of bounced around the country, but yes, for the last now going on 6 years, I've planted some roots in Indianapolis, and we really like it here. I love Minnesota, and that will always be home to me, the Upper Midwest. And my mom and stepdad still live there, so it's so nice to get to go visit. Work brings me back there actually periodically, which is great. But yeah, we really like Indy. It's a nice town.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm gonna ask you some favorite questions, Haley, and you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay, so here we go.
Got it.
Favorite meal you like to cook?
Favorite meal that I like to cook, I am really big into Neapolitan style pizza. I finally got a pizza oven that I've been wanting for so long. So now
Wow.
I am going so hard on like making big batches of dough so I can just like throw a pizza together. So that's what I'm really big into right now.
Okay, what kind of toppings are we putting on that pizza?
Well, it's hard to go wrong with a traditional margarita. Your red sauce, basil, mozzarella, sprinkle a little sea salt. That is just the go-to. But I also love in um, not using a red sauce. I'll use just like olive oil, garlic, and I'll do a combination of like three or four different cheeses for a little nice light four cheese pizza. So those are two of the go-tos right now.
Okay, now listen, when I pull up to Indianapolis again, I might have to say hello to you. I might have to do that pizza thing now. Okay, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I like that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Minneapolis is one of my favorite cities. I got a chance to last year. I went to the NFL Career Conference. I'm actually going to be coming back out there again. The NFL Combine, as you know, is in Indianapolis every year. Got a chance to cover that for the
Mhm.
first time last year as a reporter. So that was amazing. So I will be back out there obviously next March. So that'll be pretty cool. Um,
Good. It's a good sports town. Aside from the fact we don't have a hockey team or an NHL team, I should say, we do have the Indy Fuel, I think it is. But aside from that, that's my only complaint. There's a lot of tournaments and stuff that come to Indy, so it's a good place to be for a sports fan.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, the Pacers just went to the finals, which is great. The Fever is doing pretty good as well. They just had All-Star weekend there for the WNBA in
Mhm.
Indianapolis. You have the 500 there, Indy 500. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on. So, like I said, Indianapolis is definitely one of my favorite cities to go to. No question about it. So, I would definitely be coming back out there, and I'll make sure I say what's up to you for sure.
Definitely.
The second question is favorite concert you've ever attended?
Ooh, I go to a lot of concerts. Well, I go to a lot of
Mm,
concerts, like especially in the off season because I'm on the road every single weekend. So sometimes I just don't have the energy, but I do like to go to a lot of shows.
hmm
The best one, I really like, so I'm really big into like metalcore, metal music. I like Motionless in White or Ice Nine Kills, and I'm pretty sure they've toured together. So maybe I'm just like conflating the two in my mind, but like I would say it's a tie right now between those two. The energy is
Okay.
so good. They sound so good live. So I would say those Motionless in White and Ice Nine Kills are up there.
Definitely know about Ice Nine Kills. Every time I listen to him, I think of a mosh pit. Have you ever been into a mosh pit?
No, I hang back. I want nothing to do with the mosh pit. In fact, like I don't mind being right up on the stage because then you're kind of out of it. The mosh pit's going on behind you, so you're
Right.
semi-safe. But like I like to hang out at the back of the room where I'm away from that stuff or on the side so I can get nice and close. But you know what? If the audio quality is good up on like a balcony, that's where I'll be. Away from the chaos, away from the mosh,
hmm
just enjoying the vibe.
I like that. Okay. I would say my favorite concert, I love all music, but huge R&B person. So definitely The Weeknd was definitely one of my favorite concerts
Ooh,
for
that would be
sure.
good.
No question. Favorite place you've ever traveled to, Haley?
Favorite place I've ever traveled to.
hmm
Mm, I really liked Marseille, France. I really love
Oh,
France.
okay.
I didn't get to spend. I went there actually on a cruise, and so the plan is actually to go back to France this fall and spend a week just exploring the country. So
Mm.
that was amazing. Went in the fall, which is not a busy tourist time. It's beautiful. It's on the south side of France along the sea, and just incredible. The food. the culture. I've really enjoyed it there. But as far as like quicker like getaway trips, because I think there are these categories. Like you have your big like extended vacation spots or
Hmm.
places that just take a journey to get to, or like quick weekend getaways. I love going to Canada. Like I love going to Quebec. I can go watch the Habs play, my favorite hockey team. I can go skiing. That's more of my like close to home yet still international getaway.
Totally understand that. I'm huge in Toronto is one of my favorite cities
Mm, good
to
place.
ever go to. No question about that. If we're talking about quick getaways, Vegas and New Orleans come to mind. New Orleans is my new favorite place because I
Mhm.
just went there for the Super Bowl this past year.
Yeah.
And that was just absolutely amazing. The
Mm,
food was amazing, the culture was amazing, just everything. So New Orleans, I've always had an affinity for Vegas,
mhm.
because I mean it's Vegas. Do I need to explain? But yeah,
No, no.
it's right, right, But if you're talking out of the country, I
Mhm.
would definitely say Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Jamaica was quite the vibe.
Mhm.
Great people, great food. Just walking around the beach, the water, just everything was just so good. And
Beautiful.
have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times and the
Okay.
jerk chicken. Oh
Oh,
man,
whew.
incredible, incredible. And I've been like tubing down. I think you kind of go up. I can't remember which. It's pretty mountainous, so I don't know if it was like a specific mountain or if it's all one mountain. This on the island where you they take you up there and then you can tube down towards a different location. And all the while you can get like you can is it Red Stripe? Is there
I
their
think
beer there?
I think it
So
is. Yeah, Red
yeah,
Stripe.
you can just float down the river and enjoy a red stripe, and then there's chicken waiting for you when you get down to the bottom. That's one of my fondest memories of Jamaica.
See that? See, Haley, when we went, I'm not sure what cruise, if you went on a cruise. We went on a
Yeah.
cruise line, which was MSC Cruises.
Ooh,
So we
good
went
one.
on that line, but it was flooded. The river was
Mm.
flooded, and we could not go tubing. So they took away that excursion from us.
Oh no.
Yeah, the river was flooded, so we couldn't go tubing because we actually picked that excursion to do because I wanted to do that. I wanted to go tubing in Jamaica. I thought that it would be great, great weather, and it was beautiful weather, but they
Yeah.
just said it was flooded. But we
Mm.
picked a different excursion. I was able to swim with the stingrays instead.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a memorable experience for sure, no question.
Mm.
Um, I'm a sports person. You're a sports person, so now I gotta ask you a sports question. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV?
Mm.
Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
Mm. Oh man, this is a really tough one. So my favorite sport that I like to attend
Hmm.
in person is do I get to pick like any of the sports that I currently work in? Do those count? Because I'm working, I also am a big fan of them, but if I have to branch out, like that's totally fine.
I mean, yeah, you can pick motorsports if you want to.
Okay.
Now, if you want to differentiate, you can certainly do that too.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will go. Favorite to watch in person is a hockey game, NHL game. It's so much better than on TV. And
No question
and
about
that's
that.
really tough for me to say because I really do believe that pro motocross and supercross are just like an unparalleled experience. But I think like they're just two different things, like motorsports, stick and ball sports. So they're both so good. But if I have to pick one, best one to watch in person, hockey. Best one to watch on TV. I'm gonna go with pro motocross.
Okay.
Because it's like that is such a compelling sport. It's the same athletes more or less and more or less the same machines that they race in supercross, but it's not the fan experience. You're out in the sun and it's which is amazing. Sometimes you have to like climb up the side of like a hill mountain to watch on the track because it's all natural terrain, oftentimes built into a hillside. So it can be kind of grueling to get to do it. I think everyone who wants to check out pro motocross should to experience it. But if you can't go to all of them, it's not always feasible to go to all of them. So I would say
Yeah.
the TV coverage of both supercross and pro motocross is 11 of 10. I enjoy when I'm not working a broadcast. I'm watching live at home. So if you can, I would say pro motocross watch on TV. But okay, I'm trying not to stumble over my words here because I don't want to make it sound like it's better than in person. But my favorite
Right.
one to watch on TV, I'll say Pro Motocross. Best in
Sure.
person, hockey.
I'm with you on that totally. I've gotten a chance to watch a couple Minnesota Wild
Mhm.
games. I've also seen some Predator games, some NHL games.
Mhm.
But my first sports internship was in Knoxville, Tennessee, where I got a chance to see the Knoxville Ice Bears. So some
Oh,
ECHL games. Some of that minor league hockey is pretty good too, as
yeah.
well. So yeah, definitely. So I definitely enjoy a good hockey game for sure. Obviously, I think my favorite sport is basketball. I love basketball. I
Yeah.
love the sound of the sneakers. I love Gamebridge Fieldhouse. I've been there a
Mhm.
couple times. So yes, definitely love that place. And then football, I like to watch on TV. I think the stadium is too big. Lucas Oil, I've been there, but if you sitting way up there, they look like mini me's down there on the field, which
Yes.
that's exactly where I was. I was way up
Mhm.
there in the cheap seats for sure. No question. So I'd rather watch football on TV. So
Mhm.
no, that's no doubt. Okay, it's pretty cool. Now I'm a huge foodie. Last of the
Mhm.
favorites. I'm a big time foodie, Haley, and I love food. I love going to different restaurants.
Same.
What is your favorite restaurant to eat out at there in Indianapolis?
My favorite restaurant to eat at here in Indianapolis. Man, this is a really good food city.
It is.
There's a good variety here, and I'm a tough critic when it comes to that, and judging a
Okay.
city based on its food because Minneapolis, St. Paul is a food hub. So okay,
No doubt, no question.
man, there's an Italian joint, and the way my husband and I always refer to it is the Italian restaurant in downtown Zionsville. If I minimize Instagram, will it take me off?
It probably will.
Okay, well, I don't want to do that, but okay. So there's a couple locations. There's one in downtown Zionsville, Indianapolis. It's this tiny little Italian restaurant, and it's super authentic. Their menu actually evolves throughout the year based on the season. Super
Oh,
authentic Italian food. The best wine, the best pasta, the best pizza and appetizers. It is incredible. And the wait staff, they're so informative. They educate you on the culinary experience you're about to enjoy.
okay.
It's just so peaceful, so serene. If I think of the name, I'm gonna let you know. But
Please
yes,
do.
downtown
Please.
Zionsville Italian.
Okay, I'm with you on that. No, I'm totally with you on that. I love Italian food. Mexican is my second favorite. So any kind
Mhm,
of Mexican spot restaurant that you know down there, that's great. Because again, I would
mhm,
definitely be coming back to Indianapolis. It's just one of my favorite cities.
mhm,
Indianapolis downtown is so beautiful, and I normally, when I go there now, I normally get an Airbnb. I don't even get a
mhm,
hotel anymore. I just get an Airbnb and I just rent it out and have it for a few days and have it to myself and
mhm.
just go there either to the conference or the combine or whatever event that I'm doing out there. So yeah, absolutely. Please give me the 411 and let me know.
I will. That's such a fun way to do it too with an Airbnb. Like sometimes
Hmm.
it takes you a little bit maybe off of the main strip in the city, and
Hmm.
it's just a fun way to experience the town on another level. So I love that you get to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Ubers are not bad at all.
Mhm,
I know the last time I went there for the NFL Combine, I was Ubering everywhere. East Washington Street, I was going down there too and stuff like that, and just it was just a very, very good experience. It always typically is every time I come to Indianapolis, because like you said and like we stated, there's a lot of sporting events there,
mhm,
and I like to come there for the career conference as well. So that's what's up. I want to get into your day to day though, because this is
mhm,
something that was definitely something that has been on my mind, and that's the life of a pro motorsports sports reporter, right? You've been a commentator, you've been a host, and now you're a reporter, right? But no 2 days are never the same.
yeah.
In journalism, every day is different. Every race you do is different. Every story that you do is different. Just when you wake up, it's something new and exciting, and that's one of the reasons why we both become journalists, is because it's new and exciting. It's not boring. I mean, I can't imagine Haley sitting at a desk working
No,
9 to 5.
me either.
I think I'll be bored out of my mind for
I
sure.
tried. It wasn't for me.
Yeah,
I'm well, not my strong suit. And maybe it's my like ADD. I just got to be like engaged, doing something on my
right.
feet. And so, yeah,
Hmm.
I got to be in the field.
No question, and I'm with you on that 1,000%. So tell me, what is your day-to-day operations of, being a motorsports reporter? What's your hours? Because, in sports are typically nights and weekends. Sometimes we work long hours.
Mhm.
Sometimes there's rain delays. Sometimes there's rain delays in certain sports and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is your day-to-day process of getting yourself ready to do motorsports?
Totally. Well, I could start with what the week looks like. So,
Hmm.
Sundays, I'm usually traveling home from the past event, Sundays or Mondays, but usually it's on Sundays. I like to try and reserve Mondays and Tuesdays to be my weekend, my days off. And obviously, that's when a lot of people are working. So I'll probably still be responding to emails, taking calls and stuff. But that's when I really try to just have me time, have some family time. And
Right.
then during the week, I typically have a meeting on Tuesday for an hour and a meeting on Wednesday for an hour. Then all the while too, this is for my broadcast work, mind you, but I also own a business here in Indianapolis. And while I do have an awesome team who manages the day to day, I'm still involved with it. So I may be tending to certain tasks, running payroll, attending to clients and communications throughout the week. So I'm also managing that in the background. And then come Thursday, I am traveling to the next event. So that window between Sunday night and Wednesday night, I gotta have laundry done, bag packed, and ready to walk out the door. Traveling Thursday, Fridays are typically pre-production day. So while we won't be live that day, we're doing rehearsal, and that includes preparing our opening statements for the broadcast. That also includes making sure mics are tested. I will also then attend press sessions. So I will go get interviews with athletes. I may have offline conversations with athletes and personnel as well to prep my
Sure.
stories for the next day's broadcast. Then
Oh, yeah.
Saturday, race day. That often means my day, depending on the start time and the time zone we're in. It'll my day will typically start like 5 or 6 a.m. We can be live by anywhere from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then I'll do a pre-race show for 2.5 hours, get a short break. Then I'll do the in-stadium show for Supercross, or I'll do the live broadcast for Pro Motocross. That's another 4 hours. After that, I'll go
Wow.
host the post-race press conference for Pro Motocross and Supercross. So that's another hour. Go back to the hotel, hit the pillow, go to sleep as soon as I can. And then I try to get on a really early flight on Sunday just so I can maximize my time home. So that's what a week looks like for me typically. Then that's when I have like 1 day events because there are some events that I do in the summertime where I am technically working Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So
Hmm.
that cuts into my week just a little bit more, but
Sure.
typically it's a 1 day a week event. But like I just described, there's so much leading up to that in preparing your home life, just making sure you're organized, your bags packed, preparing your material and studying, meetings leading up to it. So the weeks fly by, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Wow. I'm tired of listening to it. I mean, dang, that is crazy. That's some crazy
Mm.
stuff, but I love it. I love that. Now, a bonus question came up in my mind, and that is, what if you have an event that's there at home in Indianapolis? Does any of that routine typically change?
Yeah, I look forward to when events are home because that means that's 2 bonus days I get back into my week. I don't have to travel to, I don't have to travel from. And so
Hmm.
that is that is incredible. Even if the event is like, I did one over 4th of July Day weekend, it was 2.5 hours north, but that means that I can just roll up on Friday morning. I don't have to leave on Thursday. So
Right.
that I look forward to that so much. However, I will say like sometimes having an event at home, it by being out of your travel routine, your weekly routine, sometimes it really throws you off come race day
Yeah.
because like this year for Indianapolis Supercross, for example, it wasn't like bad. The broadcast was great. My teammates are awesome. But I do feel like I'm maybe a little bit underprepared because my week I just kind of got a little bit lazy, which just
Sure.
causes me more stress on race day because then I'm scrambling to get things together and it's like, girl, you had all week, you
Right.
like, so you know what I mean? So it takes some self-discipline in that regard for home races, but man, I really like having events close to home.
That's why I was asking for that particular reason, because we're kind of wired when we do have to travel for certain things. Like, where there's times where I was covering the professional women's hockey league, there'd be times where I have to drive a couple hours. And then I have to get into that zone of, because I book things out when I do these podcasts
Mhm.
and stuff as well. I book things out weeks in advance because I do substitute teaching as well.
Mhm.
I teach in the schools, and then I also have a side job on the side, but I also do this as well. But when I
Mhm.
was doing it on a full-time basis, I was still doing substitute teaching at times, or half days. I would do half days because I would do early in the morning, get off at 12, go in
Mhm.
and work from 2 to 11. But on my off days, I would pick up some other stuff so I can earn some extra money. And I
Mhm.
would get into that routine. But then when you stop that routine, you like, well, man, I got all this extra time, but then all of
Yeah.
a sudden time just goes by super fast. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoo, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like you can get behind a little bit, or you can
Yeah.
get thrown off your routine.
Mhm.
So that's why I asked, it's more comfortable having it at home. It's more convenient, but it can also throw you off a little bit too.
Yeah, yeah, that's where the self-discipline really comes into play.
No question. I'm with you on that. But great segue, because now I want to talk about mental health and work-life balance. In this industry, I've known a lot of journalists and broadcasters that have stepped away
Mhm.
because of their mental health, because of the work-life balance. Sports are nights and weekends, like you just said, Thursday through Sunday, you're doing your routine.
Mhm.
But news is every single day for a journalist. It never stops. Sports never stop. You work on holidays, you miss celebrations, you miss graduations and time with your family.
Mhm.
Talk to me about how you kept your mental health strong, but also try to have that work-life balance. Because Haley, you do seem like a wonderful woman to hang out with. I certainly wouldn't mind drinking a red stripe with you, that's for sure. But you also seem like you're very dedicated and passionate about
Mhm.
what you do, as you should be. So talk to me about how you balance that out and not experience burnout.
Yeah, and this is, I think, something that everyone who wants to work in this field or is working in this field, you really have to feel it out and figure out what works for you. Because what works for
Mhm.
me may not work for you or for
Right.
others. And it's just you have to sometimes get to a place of almost burnout. Maybe that's the wake up call where you have to say to yourself, okay, something has to change. I think what's
Mhm.
helped me is that I have a very supportive family who's been so understanding. Because, like you
Mhm.
said, you do miss birthdays, weddings, occasionally a funeral. Like you do miss these life events. You can't
Yep.
always be there because a lot of us we're paid in way that is like gig work. So you get paid per event. So it's like
Yep.
you have to be like present to be able to make a living. You don't really get vacation time. So
Right.
and when you want something bad enough, you do make sacrifices. You do see the end goal of getting to where you want to be one day. So
Right.
I do think that is one maybe regret I have of my 20s. Not to say that it maybe didn't help me get to where I am, but like the best way I can describe it is hustle culture, which I think is actually pretty toxic. But it's the idea that you
Mm.
need to be grinding more than 9, 10, 12, 15 hours a day,
Right.
compromising sleep, compromising your health and happiness. And no, like that's one thing I've been really good about these last 4 to 5 years is just taking time out of the week. Like I said, Mondays or Tuesdays is really good for me where my phone may be in do not disturb all day if I want to, or at least hours at a time. I'm sleeping in, I'm taking care of my physical health.
Yep.
Because if I'm when you're traveling all the time, you're in airports, you're just contracting any any cold, any flu that's going around. So when you can
Right.
take care of your body, your fitness, that's going to help your mental health so much. That's helped for
Right.
me. So I would say like when you prioritize the time to take care of your home life and the relationships that mean a lot to you with your close friends and family,
Mm.
that keeps your soul healthy, taking time off that keeps your body healthy, your mind healthy, and taking care of your body, your fitness, your diet, your supplements, just resting. That's it. All has been a recipe for me that's really helped me these last few years, but that's something that took me maybe 10 years to figure out. So I in ways I regret working working maybe so many hours and
Mhm.
at the expense of being able to maybe spend time with family and close friends in my 20s. So but you live and you learn. I'm glad that I've maybe gotten to a point where I felt like it's a breaking point. Something has to change. I'm going to be crashing out here if I
Right.
don't figure this
Right.
out. So I'm glad that I have.
Me too. I mean, like I
Mhm.
said, it's a question worth asking because people need to know. People need to
Yeah,
know that number one, there's all different kinds of situations that come up, and people they don't know the behind the scenes, Haley. What they only see is the beautiful lady like yourself in front of the camera talking motorsports, giving analysis on the sport. But they don't know the behind the scenes of what you go through, what you just talked
right.
about. Getting up early in the morning, catching flights, being away from your family, being in airports. When you're in airports, you're always traveling. You're not necessarily having the best diet all the
No.
time because you're always eating on the go.
Mhm.
You're not necessarily probably, doing just the best things at all times. And sometimes that affects your mental health, that affects your body. You can become sick. You can get burnt out because you're always going 100 miles per hour.
Mhm.
But people don't know these things unless they ask you. Let's ask Haley, right?
Yeah.
Unless people know you and your family. So that's why this is a great platform for people to know. If you want to get into this business, it's a very fulfilling business. It's a very a business that you can story tell, do different things, see amazing people, see amazing things. But you
Yeah.
have to get into it for the right reasons. And that's one of the reasons why I like to do this platform is that people need to know the A side and the B side. Like you have
Yes.
to prepare for that. Like you
Mhm.
are going to miss things. You are going to miss your family. You might have to move away in order to conquer your dream. I know I did. I had to. Nobody's here in Minnesota that I know of. I've never been to Minnesota prior to coming here, but I
Mhm.
wouldn't change it at all because I learned a lot while I was here. And I had to break away from family and be able to go off and do my own thing, just like you did. So
Mhm.
it's definitely it definitely can wear on your mental health, but I think we never will have it down 100%, Haley. I think we
Yeah.
just have to deal with it as best as we possibly can, and then we try to advocate to others who are wanting to be in this broadcast journalism space. Hey, this is how you should go about it because, like you said, in your 20s people typically are, I want to do this. Yes, 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 yes. They say yes all the time to everything because, right, they're in hustle mode, like you said. They're in grind mode. But I know for me personally, I'm glad I got into it later because I'm in my 30s as well.
Mhm.
I'm glad I got into it a little bit later in my 20s because I've kind of realized then I'm like, I'm not gonna like sacrifice my sanity just to be trying to do everything.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it at the end of the day. Like I love this industry and I love what it's about, and I don't feel like I could do anything else. But at the same time, you don't have to always say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Um, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and that's a really tough one because it is a the nature of what we do working in the media is a really competitive space. There are
Get it
limited positions and so many people want them. So you feel like if you don't say yes to an opportunity, whether it's a gig or a full-time
Mhm.
position or part-time position, someone else is going to take it. And like I've
Right.
been guilty of that where it's like, oh man, I feel like I have to do this. Otherwise,
Sure.
they may not want to work with me again. Or someone's going to get in there and do a really great job and they're not going to want to look my way again because they'll be so satisfied with this person. So it's
Right.
that is a very that's a very tricky thing to be working with. It's just added pressure. So I can completely relate.
Absolutely. And you just got me thinking of something like, yeah, you're right. That's a natural feeling. It's a
Hmm.
natural feeling to be like, come people that could do a better job than you,
Hmm.
or people that if you say no, will they come back my way? And
Yeah.
it's almost like you're betting on yourself at the
Yeah.
end of the day because you feel confident in your hard work and you deserve your flowers,
Hmm.
obviously. And I know obviously there's a lot of people that helped you along the way and people that are still helping you, but you definitely deserve your flowers. And people should know that you work hard and you deserve the position that you have. But
Hmm.
you've got that position through dedication, hard work, and sacrifice. And that's the ultimate thing that people should take from that is that you have to do those three things in order to be in this industry, in order to thrive in this industry and really be successful.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad we're talking about this because so many times people see the finished product. They
Yep.
see, us us, they'll see our name at the top of an article, or they'll see
Hmm.
us on camera. And
Hmm.
there's so much more to it. And I don't ever want to dissuade someone from pursuing a career in this, but I do want people to be realistic that this is not just a super glamorous, oh, I
Yep.
have a hair and makeup team. No, I don't even have that. Like, I'm doing like this is some heavy lifting work, and some super
Right.
super long days. You're out in the sun all day. It is so fulfilling, but I don't want anyone to have an illusion that it is a cakewalk. Just as
Right.
you see a professional athlete, like I make a I make a career out of telling the stories that the fans don't get to see, so that
Right.
fans can have a better understanding of just how much goes into this athlete's ability. It's not
Right.
a gift. Like, yes, some people may be more naturally talented or built a certain way, but to get to their level, like they are doing just inhuman things. Their training regimen, the years they've spent, on a motorcycle or whatever sport it is they play. So yeah,
Right.
that's why I'm just glad to be having this conversation. Two media folks talking to one another about it takes a long time. So you can't lose sight of your end goal. It's gonna
Right.
maybe even take years. Some people may stumble into it into a few months, but it takes time and a lot of sacrifice to work in this field, but it is so rewarding.
Absolutely. And another great segue to this next question, that is advice. What advice would you give someone, and especially someone that wants to be in motorsports, right?
Mm.
Because, like you said, like we talked about before, we're starting to see more women, but there might be men that look at this and want to join motorsports as well, based upon that. So, what kind of advice would you give someone that wants to be in sports journalism right now?
I would say that take every opportunity you can, even if it's not in the exact role that you want to be in. For
Hmm.
example, one thing that worked really well for me
Hmm.
is I would take on any job I could in motorsports, be it in
Okay.
marketing, media, photography, videography, producing, audio technician. I would even work gigs in college working for Daktronics at South Dakota State, where we would
Mm.
operate the show that's on the big screen. So
Right.
sometimes that was like operating the graphics machine or instant replay or just miscellaneous things like that. You're getting experience for me in production. It's still broadcast and production, even though it's not like on camera reporting. And those roles are so crucial to not only staying involved in the industry, but to build connections. And maybe you'll discover something that you're really good at along the way. For me, like I got into marketing for a number of years, and I actually was really liking it to the point where I thought, I'm in my mid 20s. Maybe broadcast is not in the cards for me, but I'm really happy where I'm at. And I'm glad that I did stick with it. My end goal of one day working in broadcast, but um, if my career would have gone a different path and I would have gone down the digital media side of motorsports and stayed there, I think I would have made a good career out of it. Maybe I can go back to that one day. But short
Mm.
story long is take any opportunity you can and pick up the phone or return calls, because one day that may go away. People may not be blowing up your phone for opportunities. So
Absolutely.
that's one piece of advice I like to give quite often, because I'll get messages in DMs. I'm always happy to talk about these things with people with transparency. They're like, well, how would I even start? And I'm like, reach out to your local track. Even if it's not like a live streamed race or a broadcast race, it's
Right.
still an opportunity to pick up a microphone and get comfortable speaking in front of people. And sometimes I'll even get pushback, believe it or not. And people will be like, well, I actually have experience covering the St. Paul Saints, or no one said that to me, but other sports teams, or I have experience covering like college sports or whatever. And I'm thinking like, yes, that's great. That is good experience. But where is it you want to be? Motorsports. Like, go seek out positions in motorsports and just get
Right.
all the seat time that you can.
Right. Like that is great. And you know what? And a lot of high schoolers that typically I talk to in the classroom whenever I'm doing substitute teaching, they ask me about journalism.
Mhm.
I know some of the advice that I like to give, at least two things for sure I always say is try everything in
Mhm.
journalism. You never know what you like until you try it.
Yeah.
So whether it's producing, whether it's directing, anchoring, reporting, radio, writing, whatever it is, try
Yeah.
it, because you want to see what you like. You want to see what you can do. And then the second thing I always say is that when it comes to journalism, always ask questions.
Yeah.
Always ask questions, especially to people that you want to go into their field.
Hmm.
Or what I meant, not their field, but their sport.
Yeah.
Whether it's racing, football, basketball, you want to find somebody that you can obviously shadow or ask questions and reach out. And
Hmm.
that's what I love. That's what I did. When I did in college, I was in Atlanta, Georgia. When I went to school, I would reach out to people. I first started collegiately, then I started sending my stuff out locally. Then I started reaching out to people, say, hey, can I shadow you for a Falcons game? Can I shadow you for a Hawks game? Sometimes they will respond, sometimes they wouldn't. But you'll never know if you don't write at all. So
Right.
that's the whole point. The whole point is to be able to do that. So I love that advice that you gave, Haley. It's really, really good. No question.
Yeah, I love it when people reach out because that is such a great first step. Like, I remember back to my years in college of just I would search up people whose names I knew in the industry and into Google and see if I could come up with an email address. And I did for a few of them, and
Hmm.
those individuals were so great, and they got back to me and helped steer me in the right direction or tell me like, hey, don't sweat this so much. It's more about experience than a certain degree path. And you had mentioned the advice, try everything. I think that's so great too. One of my professors at St. Cloud State, she was awesome. She wrote for, I don't know if it was the St. Cloud Times or whatever the local newspaper
Was it the
was.
Pioneer Press? Pioneer Press, Saint Cloud Pioneer, or St. Paul Pioneer Press?
I think St. Paul is Pioneer Press. I can't remember exactly the name that it was at the time in St. Cloud, but well,
Okay.
something similar.
Okay.
And she had said, if you want to work in the media, you need to get good at all things because this was back in 2012, 2013. She said, the way things are going, more and more is going to be expected of people in the media. For
It
example, if
is.
you want to go work for a local news station, you better know how to report, how to anchor, how to shoot an interview behind the camera, how to edit, how to
Mm-hmm.
take photos with your phone. And this was before like the cameras on iPhones and smartphones were even that good back then. But she was like, that's the way it's heading. They're going to start slashing positions and they're going to be expecting more of those who do have those positions. So I thought that's really good advice. How true is that now? We have to be Swiss Army knives.
Absolutely, no question. When I came
Yeah.
here, it was like, okay, all I did in Atlanta, Georgia was write
Mhm.
articles. That's all I did. Cover
Okay.
games, football, baseball, basketball, and lacrosse. And I did the
Mhm.
playoffs of those games. And I wrote a bunch of articles, got a bunch of
Mhm.
clips. That was great. When I moved here to Minnesota, learned how to take photos. Never took photos in my life,
Mhm.
professionally. Learn how to edit photos. Learn how to do page design. I was like, what the hell is page design? I was like, what is going on? And I had to learn how to do that. And I had to
Mhm.
learn how to cut cut certain words, cut this to make sure it fits into the pages of the newspaper. Learn how to get
Mhm.
stuff published. It was like, man, this is tough, but at the same time, it was great learning experience because it was
Mhm.
something of working in a newsroom that I had never done before. So I
Yeah.
truly, truly love that. That's what's up.
Yeah.
We have reached the portion of the podcast, Haley, to now we're going to do my interactive game called This or That.
Okay.
It is a game that I like to play with all my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's pretty simple. I'm
Mhm.
going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, Haley, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather eat at if you had to choose?
Mm.
Popeyes or KFC?
Ooh. Oh, with Popeyes.
Okay, you on point like a period right now. I like that. Okay, okay, girl, you rocking with me. I like that. Now, here's the second question.
Mm-hmm.
What flavor out of these two would you rather put on a chicken wing?
Mm.
Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
Do you like your wings wet or dry?
I prefer dry. If it's like barbecue, like I do like a good like honey barbecue sauce, but I do like lemon pepper dry rub. Exceptional.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Now, do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
There's only one option here. I like a so wing has a bone in it. Anything else is a chicken nugget. I like the bone in.
You're being very controversial there, but that's okay. There's a lot of people that have been on my platform that have said that they do not like bones and wings. That they feel like the bones, yeah, yeah. Listen. I'm both. I don't. I really don't give a damn whether
Yeah.
it's bone in or boneless. I'm with it.
Or
But
good. Yeah.
but there's people that say, "How can you eat bone and wings?" I mean, very simple. They put, I just grab the wing and start eating. I mean, it's very simple to
Yeah,
me, but
yeah,
to the boneless people, it's not as simple. So I've
yeah.
heard that before. Okay.
Hmm.
So are you a dipper? Do you like, you say dry rub? Do you dip your wings in sauce, or do you just eat it regular?
I love condiments. I like dipping sauce. Ranch is my favorite. So I like to while I like a dry rub wing, I gotta have ranch with it. And I also like a lot of seasoning. Like I like flavor. Even if it's a little like excessive. So if the wings don't have enough dry rub on it, like I'll even maybe add so if I feel like they've skimped me, like we're on rations in that department, I'm not above asking for a little extra. And then I
Right.
will proceed to then dip that super seasoned wing in ranch.
So fun fact here before I get to the
Mm.
next question, I've never tried ranch.
Pardon? You never
Wow.
tried ranch?
No, no, I've
Are you
never
like
had ranch.
are you a blue cheese person then?
Mm-mm. I haven't
Oh,
had that either. I haven't had ranch or blue cheese or
hmm,
nothing.
interesting.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. That's a fun fact. Normally when I eat my wings, it's either barbecue sauce, lemon pepper, or buffalo sauce.
Okay.
Those are the three. But and even when I eat salad, I don't put ranch or blue cheese dressing on it. I don't do that.
Okay. Hmm. Interesting. I mean, to your point, like if you got wings with a sauce on it, buffalo barbecue or something,
Right.
it's got sufficient flavor. It's got
Absolutely.
like yeah. So yeah,
Maybe
I
maybe
feel you
when I
there.
maybe when I come back down there, I'll try ranch for the first time. How
It's
about that?
good.
How
The
about that?
Midwest produces some good ranch. Now I've heard if you go up to upstate New York in Buffalo, it's like the blue, I think, is it Buffalo? Yeah, Buffalo. It's like the blue cheese hub, and you will be shamed if you ask for ranch at a restaurant. They're so anti-ranch up there, I've heard.
Then see, that's why I'm not even gonna ask for no condiment. Just put the barbecue sauce on that thing, and we good. We
There
are
you
so
go.
good. I'm with you
Hmm.
on that. That's awesome. Um, these next five questions have to do with music concerts that you rather attend.
Okay.
Okay, so now you say you're a rock person,
Yeah.
but do you listen to all genres, or you listen to mainly rock?
Yeah, I listened to
What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Um, just got disconnected. I was actually on with my good friend, Haley Shanley. She is a pro motorsports reporter. She is going to be coming back on with me. We actually got disconnected, but now we're going to be coming back on here now. So this is part two of our Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. So here we go. We were actually in the middle of doing my this or that game. So here we go. All right, let's see. Okay, you. Yep.
there we go.
Okay, we are back on. I don't know what happened and why we got disconnected, but I was just about to listen to your exhilarating answer to which concert you were going to choose between Beyonce and Rihanna.
Okay, and this gave me some more time to think about it. I think I'm gonna go with Beyonce.
Okay, going with the Beehive.
Hmm.
Okay, I like that. That's pretty cool. All right,
Yeah.
here we go. Now, what I want you to do now is I'm going to ask you, which sport would you rather watch on TV? Would you rather watch basketball or baseball?
Basketball or baseball? Probably basketball.
Okay, okay. You sure?
I'm sure. Yeah, I like baseball, but I like how fast paced basketball is. It keeps me really engaged, and like I really enjoy going to basketball games. I may be in Pacers territory now, but I grew up going to a lot of T Wolves games, so I have a lot of loyalty to that team as well. So it's just a little,
Absolutely.
it's a have a little bit more connection to basketball because of that.
Absolutely, no doubt, no doubt. Being that Minnesota native, I'm in the 507 area code, but they have
Hmm.
320 area code. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what other area codes is out there, but I know 320 is one of them for sure. I think
Hmm.
612 as well is out
Yeah.
there. Absolutely. Okay. Which sport would you rather play, badminton or bowling?
I like bowling. I like bowling. It's kind of a frustrating game though. But
Hmm.
bumpers especially. I like bowling.
Oh, well, Haley, you're absolutely beautiful. You are wonderful. There's no question about it, and very talented. But you have just proven you're not perfect. Anytime anytime that you got to use bumpers for bowling, that is a no-no. That is not good. No bueno on that for sure. But that's okay. That's all right. Listen, we can't have it all. We can't have it all, Haley.
No, no.
So I feel that. Awesome. That's an awesome answer. Do you like desserts?
I love desserts.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to name four different categories of desserts.
Hmm.
You get to choose one of these categories that you'll never eat again.
Okay.
Here we go. The first category is candy. The next category is cookies.
Hmm.
The next category is cake slash pies. So they group together.
Hmm.
The last category is ice cream. Which one are you picking to get rid of?
Probably candy.
I would say you are on point like a period. Girl, that's what I would say. I would say you're pretty good with that. Okay. Now, what
Mhm.
is your favorite ice cream?
Favorite ice cream? I like mint chocolate.
Okay. Another fun fact here. I've never had mint chocolate ice cream. Never had
Good.
mint chocolate. I'm definitely going to try some eventually, but typically I get chocolate chip cookie dough or cookies
Mhm.
and cream. Those are my two favorites.
Those are
So
solid.
thank you. I appreciate that. Yours is pretty solid too, by the way. Yours is pretty solid. Do you like potato chips?
I do.
Okay. Same format. I'm going to name four brands of chips. You have to name one of these to get rid of. So here we go. The first brand is Ruffles. The second brand is Pringles. The third brand is Doritos. The last brand is Lay's. Which one are you getting rid of?
I feel like Lay's because they're never fully intact when you open a bag. They're always falling apart. So probably Lay's.
Well, they're pretty thin. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pretty thin for sure.
Hmm.
Okay, I like that. I would have got rid of Lay's too. Now, what is your favorite potato chip? Just period.
Favorite potato chip, period. I would say Old Dutch. I think it like I can only get them when I go back to Minnesota. Old Dutch specifically, the flavor is the bistro blend. It is just like it is. Oh, it's such a delicacy. And like if you go to a restaurant and you have like the option of like chips or fries for a side, and if you order like chips or kettle chips, I found that like there are a number of restaurants in the Upper Midwest who will have that very specific chip. It is my favorite. It took me many years to hunt down which brand it was and where you can get it, but I can't get them here in Indy, so I do stock up when I go home.
I feel that, and I'm going to tell people, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but
Mm.
kettle chips are the third worst chips ever made.
But
They're the third
why?
worst chip. They're just, I went over here to the 507 Tavern here locally in Marshall, Minnesota,
Uh-huh.
and I got me a nice bacon cheeseburger. I was very happy with the bacon cheeseburger, how they made it. But
Hmm.
they didn't bring out fries. They brought out kettle chips. And I was
Oh.
like, okay. And I tried it. I thought barbecue, because barbecue is one of my favorite flavors. I
Yeah.
thought barbecue would be good. And it was
Hmm.
trash. It was
Hmm.
horrible. I mean, I was like, I almost spit the kettle chip out, but I swallowed it because I was in public. So I was like, okay, I just manned up and did what I had to do. They're the third worst chip ever made, Haley. I don't know if there's any other way to get around it. Now you're probably saying to yourself, Chris, what's the first two?
Hmm.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you asked that, Haley, because I'll give them to you. The second worst chip ever made is salt and vinegar. Whoever the hell made salt and vinegar, this need to be absolutely slapped with the white and the black side of my hand because this don't make no sense of why they making this, or why they
Well,
making these kind of chips.
no.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
They kind of are like people who can handle salt and vinegar chips, just the flavor of them. Like those people were built for life's toughest challenges. Those are not like fun to eat. They're not, I don't yeah, I don't get it.
I don't know about the life's toughest challenges, but those people are tough. But it's tough to eat them damn chips. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's what I would say. It's tough to eat
Yeah.
them. Now, the worst chip ever made though, because even salt and vinegar, if that was the last chip on the earth, I'll still probably eat about five and put the
Hmm.
can back. But the worst chip ever made is Funyuns. Now, I'm telling you, I don't know who in the world thought Funyuns would be a great chip to make, but they need to smack all them bags off the shelf and step on them. That's what they need to do.
Fair.
Okay. Now, do we agree with that? Do we agree with Funyuns?
Yeah, we agree.
Okay, that's just horrible. That's just my opinion. That's my
Mhm.
small rant. And you did very well on this and that. You did very well. Except for the bowling. We're gonna have to get you some bowling lessons. We're gonna do that. But
Yeah, give me some.
other than that, you did pretty good, Haley. That's for sure. So I love that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. This next question, I love asking reporters this question, and that is, give me a top four bucket list of events or stories that you would like to do or cover in your journalism career.
Ooh, top items I would love to cover in my career. I mean, right now I am covering I'm working with my dream employer race series, and that is Supercross and Pro Motocross. That's where I've always wanted to be. So I get to cover those events. If I could be multiple places at once, I would, it would be a dream to continue doing snowcross in the booth. That was such a not a dream that I had set out to pursue, like prior to getting the opportunity. But once I was given the opportunity to be in the booth with Snowcross, it felt like a dream come true. So if I could be in
Okay.
multiple places at once, it would be to do both of those. Unfortunately, the series they overlap with one another.
Okay.
Stories that I would like to be able to cover are, any racer that I've had the honor of covering their career. I to be trusted with, helping with like a season ending or like a kickoff to their final season, like a feature interview, a feature story with them. That's one thing I really enjoy doing, is just connecting on a human level with people and getting their story that way. So to be trusted with a story such as that, when an athlete decides that, this is my final season, or my career is coming to an end, my professional racing career, that is, to be trusted with something like that would be very, very special to me. Because I've been I've been fortunate to be a part of stories where there is breaking news, or
Hmm.
a mainstream athlete, a multi-time champion, is changing teams, and they want to make the announcement
Yeah.
via a feature one-on-one style interview. And so when I've gotten the opportunity to do that, I don't take that for granted. And I recognize that there's a lot of trust there. So that those are very special to me, and I want to keep doing more.
I love that. Now, here's what came across my mind when I asked you this question, because I think you would look absolutely amazing on a red carpet. Do you think that you would ever do like maybe a sports award show as maybe a host or something like that? Maybe like the NASCAR award shows, if they have award shows for NASCARs and stuff like that. Maybe they just have it for the ESPYS. Would you want to do something like that, like red carpet?
Totally. I mean, I've had the opportunity to host banquets for a number of series that I've worked with, and kind of host big events like that. So if it were anything like award ceremonies for sports that I cover, absolutely. Or if it were special events like ESPYS, where it covers a broad range of sports, that would be
Yeah.
rad as well.
Okay.
Because I think it's a really fun environment. So that would be something that would be very cool to be a part of.
Now, see, this is my first time on here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast that I've ever asked this top four question,
Mhm.
because you are in your dream profession. So that's amazing. And I love
Yeah.
the fact that you are and you're very good. But this top four question is this: I want you to pick four events, sporting events, particularly. Which sporting events would you like to go cover if you had the opportunity to cover any four events outside of your main sport?
Okay, outside my main sport, I would like to cover it. Stanley Cup playoffs would be great. I'd like to
Mm,
cover the Four Nations tournament, which was new this year.
yes, it
It
was.
was, yeah, it
That
was
was a
a
hit. That was a hit.
USA, Canada, Sweden. Help me out. Who was the fourth one? I was mainly paying attention to US and Canada because that one was just crazy good.
Mm,
So
yeah.
Four Nations would be cool. One of my favorite events, and I've covered it in the past. I would like to be able to do it again. But outside of the main sports that I cover is an event called GPSV, the Grand Prix Ski-Doo de Valcourt. It is a
Ooh, okay, now.
snowmobile ice oval. Hmm?
I said, okay, now. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Okay.
It is one of the biggest. winter motorsports events in the world. It's in Canada and Quebec, and that one I got to be a part of it for a number of years, and I had the greatest time. It's just a very special event to me. There's so much history there,
Mhm.
and the race fans up there, they will show up all day long in sub-zero temperatures. They're just hardcore race fans, so it just makes a really neat environment to work in, and it's a great team who puts on that event. So that would
Okay.
be number three. Number four. Man, like I said, this is a tough one because I'm
Yep.
covering with off-road motorcycles all of the events that I want to. Yeah, I
Super
can't pick a fourth
Bowl,
one.
college football playoff, World Cup, Olympics, maybe Olympics coming to
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
you know what? Olympics might be kind of cool. Yeah, there's Olympics are it's such a phenomenon. So yeah, wherever it could slide in there, maybe that would be a cool opportunity as well.
Yeah, no question. Like, listen, obviously, your main sport is your main sport,
Mhm.
and it pretty much goes, year round, or it goes for a long time of the year. That's for sure.
Mhm.
But hey, you never know what other opportunities could present. Whenever they have a downtime, they typically NASCAR has a downtime for at least about 3 months. From that, maybe that November to January kind of thing. I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of races going on. Maybe you can enlighten me, but I think February is when they get it started, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I
Um,
believe so.
but yeah, but I think that by November, they're probably done racing for at least about a couple months, I would say, right?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so that's football time. I mean, football's going on at that time. College football's going on at that time. And I think basketball certainly starting. Basketball starts in November, especially college basketball. So yeah, I
Mhm.
think it could be an opportunity. You just never know. Could be an opportunity. You might do a little something on the side, and see you on one of them sidelines, or see you doing something like that.
Possibly. It's hard to turn down an opportunity like those. However, just after 31 weeks on the road, sometimes I'm just like, I am so desperate to just be home and not wear makeup for 3 months.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I feel you on that. That I do feel. That's right. You do deserve a break after that hard work. We talked about advice you would give, but
Mhm.
what is some advice that someone will give you, or someone has given you, that you hold on dearly to?
Advice that someone's given me. Hmm. There's been a lot of good advice over the years. I would say because this is one thing I get asked a lot of is like, I'm in high school or I'm like early on in my college career. I'm going off to college soon. Like, what is the next step? And we've
Yeah,
talked about like how to gain work experience in that. But some really advice I was given is as I was nearly having a meltdown of like, oh my gosh, am I on the right like educational path? And it was when someone told me like don't stress so much about what's on the piece of paper with your college degree, like it's so much more about experience, where that
right.
college degree like where it is so much more significant is for maybe a position like if you're want to be a doctor or an attorney or something that does require a very specific degree. But for something like work in the media, yes, like you can get a degree in broadcast journalism, go do that.
Hmm.
But know that the material you've learned may not be applicable in 5 years, just as the media landscape evolves. So maybe don't stress so much about what's on the piece of paper, just more focus on getting experience. That was advice that was given to me that's, yeah, it's been very helpful.
Absolutely. I got some similar advice, which was, it's not about what you do and what you have, but in this industry, it's about who you know as well. And I
Mhm.
was like, at first, when I first was trying to get into it, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Who you
Yeah.
know? I mean, everybody has a degree. I got to at least get that. I got to get some experience. But no,
Mhm.
some people is like networking is key.
Mhm.
Networking is key in there. And I'm telling you, the people that you network with, you never know when you're going to see them down the line.
Yeah.
And it's so true. It's so true. There's been so many wonderful people that I've met. I pass my business cards out to, that I've just been in constant contact with, and that has helped me along the way with advice, with reading some of my stories, some of my mentors. Sometimes I write stories and I'll pass it to them, like what should I
Mhm.
write here, what should I write there, or if I have certain reels or certain podcast shows that they see and look at, they just say, "Wow, this is great questioning," or "Wow, you could do this better." So just getting that mentorship and being able to network has been really helpful for me as well. So I love that advice that you gave. But yeah, it's very similar to what you got for sure.
Yeah, don't burn bridges. Like
Yeah,
along the lines of
absolutely.
networking, it's like just maintain good relationships. And even if you decide to leave a position, or even if you think it's ending badly, like end on as good of terms as possible because it is a very small world.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're going to need to get back in contact with, work
Mhm.
for, work alongside in the future. Or who may you feel like you may have a if things end on bad terms, some of those
Mhm.
people may go on to work with brands who you need to align with. So it's just like
Yeah.
don't burn bridges.
I feel that. I feel
Yeah.
that. Yes, indeed, you are right. We got three more
Mhm.
questions here before I let you get on up out of here. This next question is pretty pivotal though, and that is the inequalities of women's sports reporting.
Mhm.
And the reason why I want to ask this question is because I'm a huge advocate for women's sports reporters.
Mhm.
I feel like we need more women in these roles in all different kind of sports, in all different kind of positions too, not just reporters, but broadcasters, analysts, anchors, just everything. Because when I definitely have went out, especially here in Minnesota, when I went and covered like state stuff and section stuff, going to Target Center and going to the University of Minnesota, as you know pretty well, you
Mhm.
rarely ever see women covering
Yeah.
sports. You don't really see any women photographers. You definitely don't see any women writers. And if you do see them, you definitely don't see anybody that's ethnic, that's covering
Mhm.
any of these events,
Yeah.
especially out here. So, and to me, sometimes you get the stigma of, well, women didn't play that. And you probably have heard this. Well, women didn't do NASCAR racing, so they shouldn't report on it. Or women didn't play football, so they shouldn't report on it. And that's really unfortunate to hear because it shouldn't be about that. It should be just about how the sport grows and how the industry is growing because men
Mhm.
and women are doing a great job reporting. Talk to me and give me your perspective, if you have any, about the inequalities of women's sports reporting, or do you feel like there's any inequalities?
Yeah, I think if you just look numerically at who are in certain positions, I think it's very clear that it's male dominated or it's white male dominated or what have you. In my opinion, like diversity is a good thing. We need to have different schools of thought, different backgrounds in these positions. Representation goes a very long ways, and if we're
Right,
only aligning ourselves with one type of individual, you're really only getting one perspective. So to me,
correct.
it's so extremely important. To that's one thing I've heard too is she isn't and not always geared towards me. I see this about other women who work in the media and broadcast. She's not qualified. She's not this. Well, okay, maybe because she didn't participate in this sport, didn't compete in this sport.
Right,
Is she knowledgeable in it? Can she ask an informed question? Can she speak knowledgeably about this? Can she educate the audience? Yes, then she's qualified. And I would say the same for any man. I don't think this is a women's exclusive issue.
right.
But I have definitely heard that before. And sometimes those comments are made by someone who doesn't know exactly who they're forming an opinion on or speaking on. So just at the end of the day, diversity is important to have both men and women in these positions, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different colors. Like diversity is never a bad thing. It gives a much broader perspective. So it's great.
No, I appreciate your perspective on that. I do. It's a question worth asking again because 35% of women, watch sports.
Hmm.
It ain't just men watching sports, and I love my brothers. I love my brothers who do all a great job across the board in all sports, whether it's play-by-play, color commentate, whatever role it is great. But that doesn't mean that we need to demean women either and tell them because you're right. It's not just excuse me, a woman issue, but you do hear it more on the women's side than you do
Mhm.
hear it on the men's side.
Yeah.
Because all of us men that cover sports, we didn't play professional sports. We didn't do this, we didn't do that, but we don't get asked about that, right? There's men that's covering softball. Men don't play professional softball.
Mhm.
Um, it just doesn't happen like that. So it's a question worth asking because I think if it's talked about more, then more opportunities and more conversation will come about it, and then less and less of kind of those inequalities will start to exhibit. Is what I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And back to just representation. Simple as that. When someone sees someone who looks like them and they can start to see themselves, this is a possibility for me too. So
Right.
it goes a
Absolutely.
very long ways.
Absolutely. I want to get into some rapid fire questions with you, and
Mhm.
that's basically, I'm just going to throw some things out there with you, and the first thing you think about, you just shout it out with glee. Okay, so here we
Okay.
go. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles,
Chicken or ribs?
ribs,
Red or blue?
blue,
Juice or soda?
soda.
Favorite Netflix TV show?
Favorite Netflix TV show. Oh my gosh, I have so many streaming services and I watch so many shows. I don't even know what is on which platform. But at the time, I'm pretty sure it was Netflix. I really liked Dexter. Dexter was a good one.
Yeah, that dude was crazy. No question
Yeah.
about that. That's a good one. Um, Favorite board game?
Favorite board game. Probably Monopoly.
I'm a beast when I get Boardwalk and Park Place, girl. I'm telling you that right now. I'm a beast
Ooh.
with it.
Yeah, it
I'm,
gets competitive, that's for
it
sure.
does. It does. I'm trying to tell you. Okay. I like Monopoly too. Favorite card game?
Favorite card game. I don't play a lot of card games.
Mm.
There was one that my family played. Oh, actually, okay, Uno. Yes, I know Uno. Why am I trying to?
Yeah.
Why is my brain like not computing?
I'm
Uno,
about to
it's a
say,
good game.
girl. I'm about to say Uno is the card game of all card games. Now, when you play with my family, it gets kind of competitive because people hit that draw four and people get that side eye real quick. So yeah, it gets
Mm,
competitive with my family for sure.
yeah,
Okay.
my sister and I would go as far as we're not proud of this, but we would go as far as to like rig the game. If we were playing with grandma, we'd like rig her with all of like the lower numbers and like the colors, and then we would like load our stacks with like the draw fours and the
Wow.
reverses. Poor grandma.
Wow. Yes, poor grandma playing with y'all. Didn't even know that y'all was doing the okey doke.
Oh no, she's probably onto us, but was just letting us get by with it.
Now, I feel you. I feel you on that. That's what's up. Shout out to grandma. That's what's up. Favorite alcoholic drink?
Mm, I don't really drink. I would say I really like just if I do super super light drink, like deep eddies, lemon flavor, and water. It's just so delicate, so nice.
Okay. Let me ask you this then.
Mhm.
Favorite non-alcoholic drink?
Diet Coke.
Wow. That is very plain and simple, Haley. I like
Mhm.
that though. I
Yeah.
like it. That's amazing. That's pretty cool. Um, Favorite, or I should say this before I get to this. If you had three people to take on vacation with you,
Mhm.
who would those three people be and where would you go? Now, Haley, before you decide, you can choose friends, family, or celebrities. Because sometimes if you don't choose all your family, they look at this and they look at you kind of crazy. So I'll give those options out.
I don't really like, so it has to be three. It can't be less than that.
It
Has
can't.
to be
It, well,
three.
it can be less if you want it, but three, at least three.
Yeah, I don't really like people. Probably just be me and my husband. Like I'm not that social. My social battery is spent at work, so probably just be he and I.
Oh Lord, Haley. I mean, will you at least say hi if I come to town? I mean, I'll say
Totally.
hi. Okay, okay, cool,
Totally.
cool, cool. Okay, cool, cool. I'm about to say, well, damn, he just flat out said I don't really like people.
No, just
Oh,
boundaries with traveling.
I
Yeah.
feel it. I feel
Yeah.
that. Now, that I do feel. Okay, so if you take your husband, that's
Mhm.
amazing. Where would you two go?
Probably go to Europe. Probably go back to Europe. Really enjoy it there. Yeah,
Okay.
any place in particular? France. That's where we're going this fall. Yeah, I need to see more of the country. I also need to practice my French more. So that's a part of the reason I want to go.
Okay, and there's like no double date that y'all can do. Maybe you and your husband, and maybe a girlfriend of yours and her husband or something like that that you would do.
Nah.
Oh, I tried. I did. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. I like it. Keep it a buck with me. Keep it a buck with me. Okay.
Hmm.
If you had a choice to choose three songs or three artists that you can listen to on repeat and never get tired of,
Hmm.
who would those three artists or three songs be?
It would be, I would go with three artists. That way I can have some variety to get me through all of eternity. Sleep Token would be number one. I would also go with Ice Nine Kills. They're another really good one, like we had mentioned. And for that third one,
Hmm.
probably Bring Me the Horizon.
Damn, you gonna be up all night long playing them kind of music. Like, are you ever gonna
Yeah.
get any?
No, they've got big discographies, all three of them. So it'd be enough
They
to keep me
do.
entertained.
They got a big discography. They got a sound that is definitely not quiet. That's for sure. And
Yeah.
they bring the bass. There's no question. And that's but those are actually three very good groups. Very good groups. You're just not gonna get much sleep. That's all I'm saying. That's for sure. Okay. What is a sport that you would play that you would absolutely dominate in?
Ooh, that I would absolutely dominate in.
Hmm.
I mean, it's hard to say that I would dominate a sport that I haven't played. I'm decent at lacrosse, and that's a team sport. It does require a really good team. And I play with some very talented women here in the league that I play in Indianapolis. So, I would say lacrosse. I race
What?
moto too, but I am not like, it's not something that it's not in the cards for me to be a front runner professional racer. Would I go enter a pro race? Yes, I would consider it, but I'm not not going to be battling for race wins in that capacity. It's something I more do for fun. But I would say
Right.
lacrosse.
So hold on. So you playing a lacrosse league right there, right now in
I
Indianapolis?
do, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty neat. That's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
Okay. Now hold on. Now is y'all team good?
Yeah, so it's like it's a summer league. So it's women's league, so like 18 plus. And I was there's a good like 50 some women that show up, and it's reversible pennies. We throw our sticks in the middle, you draw for teams, and that's your team each week. So it's but there's a
I
lot of
love it.
very talented women that play.
Okay, well go ahead with your bad self, Haley. Now this question I just asked about the best. I'm going to ask about the worst. What is
Okay,
a sport that you would play that you would absolutely suck in?
there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them really. Golf.
Hold on. Time out. Wait a minute. Hold on. How can you have great hand-eye coordination with lacrosse? A ball that's flying super fast, but a ball that's stationary you can't hit?
Yeah, I don't know. I've tried. I'm trying to figure it out myself. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, listen, we're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it real on
Mhm.
here, but you know, that is very that's odd. I'm just gonna call it what it is. But you know what? I love it. You keeping it real. Last of the rapid fire. If they
Okay.
came to you and said, Haley, you can only do one of these for the rest of your career. That's
Mhm.
commentate, host, or be a reporter. Which one would you do?
Ooh, that's tough. I think for commentating and reporting, that requires one to be on the road quite a bit. And I don't know, I'm good. I'm gonna keep doing this until I can't anymore, traveling this much it is.
Hmm.
So when the day comes that I don't want to be on the road as much, hosting would be great. So it's hard to make that decision right now of which one I would rather do because my pace right now is, commentating and reporting. So yeah, for the time being. I want to keep reporting in off-road motorcycle racing.
Okay. I like that. I do. I like that. This has been a really, really dope conversation. There's been a lot of people that's been hopping in and out on the live. I've been waving to a
Mhm.
lot of people as well. So it's amazing. People have been checking out our conversations. We did have some people drop off when you said you didn't like people, but that's okay. That was all right. But they came back. They came back. And it's
Mhm.
awesome. It's awesome. But it's really been a dope conversation, Haley, to hear about your beginnings, especially here in Minnesota.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you, what high school did you graduate from?
I went to St. Michael Albertville High School.
I know it, that. Let me tell you, That high school right there got the biggest damn parking lot I've ever seen in my life. I've
It's
never
big.
seen a parking lot that big for a high school ever in my life.
It's yeah, and what's funny is when I was going to school there, they actually just opened that brand new building with anticipation that the city would grow, and it has. When I was going to school, I think my graduating class was 200 some, like it was significantly smaller than it is now. So we didn't fill that thing back then. But
Right.
yes, it's a very big parking lot. It especially felt that way back then.
The only reason why I know that is because if you're a sports reporter, obviously out here in Minnesota, that's where they hold the state track and field meets.
Oh.
They hold the state track and field meets at St. Albert Michael High School,
Hmm.
and it got to the point where it was so big that people started parking on the grass,
Uh,
and but the parking lot held so many cars, and I was like,
yeah.
my gosh, I was so frustrated one day when I went there because I went there for like a 2 day cover meet. I had to stay at
Mhm.
a hotel near there, and I lost my car. I didn't know where my car was,
Oh
and I was
no.
walking around for about 30 minutes looking for my car, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I wish I had those sounds that has the beep beep sound, but that particular car did not,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So yes, I remember that. But again, I really want to say thank you for coming on to this IG Live, my podcast. It's been deeply appreciated. You are absolutely amazing in more ways than one. I'm sure everybody would say that who gets a chance to know you and talk to you. You do an amazing job in motorsports and great representation you are in motorsports. And I'm obviously a new fan of yours, and I'm gonna keep being a fan and keep supporting you in any way I possibly can. So my last question to you is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, or anything at all before we conclude?
No, about myself, no. I will say about the job, to reiterate something I said, it's a very rewarding very rewarding field of work to be a part of. And it's
Mhm.
fans first. You know, you have to be fans first working in this field.
Yeah,
But if you are a race fan and you feel so passionately, like how special it is to be able to have that up close and personal experience with the sport, with the athletes, with legends from the sports that I cover, that is something I'll always be grateful for. And when the end of my career road is here, that will be something I always look back fondly on. It's wow, I got to do that. I got to take my fanship of that sport to the next level, and that's what does it for me. That's what makes me so passionate about. So I encourage anyone who is even considering a career in the media to go for it.
absolutely. Well said. Haley, you enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. You and I will certainly be in touch.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye.
We out.